We are happy to have you back again for another session of your remembrances of the ashram early days. What did you think of speaking to us today about, was it education again?
No. I will speak to you today about how my relationship with the mother began to develop.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, as I told you last time, those two incidents with my uncle and my mother created an aspiration in me. But I could see that she responded, but I was not yet close to her. I used to go to her like everybody else used to go. A lot of respect, reverence. Now I will explain to you certain things. The mother used to give darshan 5 or 6 times in a day. 6 o'clock morning, balcony. 6:15, immediately after the balcony darshan, some small group of people would meet her in Poitrada's room. Sometimes at 9 o'clock there was a window darshan which I explained last time. There was something called a terrace darshan. Mother used to climb up to the terrace, up with an umbrella, and she would walk. And as far as I remember, we were advised not to try to look at her, so that she had her privacy. Then at 9:30 or 9:45, times varied, mother would give blessings and all the school children would run. Now the life was centered round the mother. Everything that happened round her. Timings were depending on her. So if she said 9 o'clock, then we would come at 9 o'clock. If she came at 9:45, we left the class and came. The school was there. We used to walk down, right, in line. And then at 12 o'clock, there was something called the vegetable darshan. Very interesting thing. Jhumur's father, Anilda, he was in charge of some gardens, or at least one garden, and they used to grow vegetables there. And every day, around 12 o'clock, those vegetables would be put between Niruddha's room and that other door leading upstairs, right? Lady's finger, 10 kilos. Tomatoes, 15 kilos. 1 pumpkin or 2 pumpkins or whatever it was. And mother would come down the stairs, stand up, not get down, but stand up. She would stand on the left side of the... On the right side was a person called Lakshmi Bai, who was very close to Ramchandra. Ramchandra is a homeopathic doctor. There are a lot of very interesting letters between Shivendra and Niruddha on Ramchandra. He was a very interesting personality. And Lakshmi Bai used to be with mother. She would be standing with a tray with flowers, which mother would give after having seen these. And Anilda, that is Jhumu's father, every day used to bring a small plate full of divine's love. And he would give it to her. And mother would take it, one flower from there, and put her arms around his head every day, blessings, and give that divine's love. Now we children, we hardly bother about mother. We are playing about all over the place, right? One day in May 1947, I was being chased. We are playing hide and seek, what is called Sabka Thappa. I was being chased and I ran and came right to that place where Niruddha's bathroom is. The workshop was what Chaun's room is today. That was the workshop. That is where Poitrada used to do all his work. So I came running and I suddenly saw mother there. I didn't know what to do. I was terrified. Will I get a scolding? I was stuck there. I couldn't move. Mother leaned out and said, "Come here, my child." I went with tremor. And what did I get? absolute affection. Now there is another very interesting thing that took place regularly. In the room where the bulletin office is, right across, there was a gentleman called Radhanand, Suddhanand something. He is a Tamilian scholar. Every day he would come towards the end of the vegetable darshan and read out a poem in French, which he composed. So that day mother asked me, "You read this poem?" So I read the poem. Mother said, "You read well." She was appreciative. She was very kind. Said, "Come tomorrow." In one stroke, that fear was replaced completely by and I began to come every day. You can't imagine what it meant. I mean, for me, that was the beginning of a love affair with the mother. Passionately. I used to wait every day how to come there and come quickly. At 11:10, 11:15 if I had no class, otherwise 11:30 I would come and wait there outside. So she would be standing up, we would be standing down. After some time, mother opened out like anything. When we stood there and she was up and we were down, she started putting her hand on my shoulder, putting her weight on whoever was there. Those who were on the other side, they didn't get the opportunity. So we rushed to come first and second. So we used to call it number 1 and 2. And she would put her hand and she would caress you. While she was doing everything else, she was doing that. I mean, that was sheer bliss. Every time she touched, a current of joy. It is, it is not merely affection, it is something else, much more than affection. So this lasted for months. That was where my relationship with her became very intimate. Because I used to almost think all the time about her. How can I meet her again? Right?
When she used to touch you, you used to feel that current of joy.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I mean, now I know what it means that the senses also can feel. That was the experience that I had. Anyway, many interesting things happened. There were not too many people, about 10 or 12 would be there. Pranabda would be standing there, waiting for her to come down, right? And this was in 47, before August 15th. And one day, some small stories. My pen was leaking, so my fingers were all stained with ink. Mother saw that and said, "No, my child, you must go and get it cleaned." So Diwan Bhai went upstairs, brought a piece of soap. I had to go that samadhi, near the samadhi there is that little tap. I had to go there, get it cleaned. Came back, Mother said, "No, not good, go back." Again I went, and even then it was not complete, but it was, she said, "You must take the greatest care. I will give you a pen." So after 2 days she gave me a pen, she gave me a comb to comb my hair, right? I had a lot of hair at that time.
So we have still that comb and the pen.
Comb lost. Runu.
The pen we have.
Pen I don't remember. I don't remember that I have it, but the comb, Runu was fighting with me and he threw it into the drain and it just disappeared. So anyway, we developed a very intimate relationship and I was dying to be there first or second. Hardly ever I missed. There was a boy called Jyotindra, Tara's younger brother, who used to also come. I remember Jhumu sometimes. There were Briju was also there, Pranamta was there, and a few other elders. Mother would distribute flowers. She would throw the flowers and we had to carry them. One day I was sitting there, beside me 2 others, and I was telling them the story of Gulliver's Travels, I think, or Sindbad the Sailor. I was absorbed absolutely. And Pranabda was standing there. Suddenly I saw him smiling. I wondered why he is smiling. I looked behind, mother was standing there. Normally when she used to come down, it would be top, 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 very heavy tread. This time she came down sweet, quietly, and she stood there for almost half a minute listening to my, storytelling. And again, we got up. One day she decided to test our strength. Tug of war. Right? I was standing downstairs, she was standing upstairs, pull. So I caught her by both hands and tried to pull her, she won. She was very, very firm, grip was very solid.
So you were 8, 9 years old that time?
11 years old.
11 years.
Not yet 11, I'm going to be 11. One day she said to me, to us, before that what she did was, she used to take one of the children upstairs after the darshan, and some painters, artists, Milidi, Krishnalal, Anil, I think, I'm not sure of the name, they would make a portrait of you. So one day mother said that today there is not much time. If someone is willing to come twice, who is willing to come? I immediately raised my hand up. And Jyotirendra also raised. So we got a chance twice. That day and next day it will be completed. So we used to sit upstairs and mother, in 10 minutes, they would make a sketch, right? That was the beginning of a very intimate, very, very sweet relationship. On my birthday, July 2nd, 1947, she said, my child, you have earned this wonderful pumpkin, big pumpkin. She gave it to me. This is my gift to you on your birthday. The Mohan Bagan football team had come. Mother herself had gone to see, and I was passionately interested in sports.
Where was it played?
In the military ground. What is known as the military ground then, now it is, I don't know what the name is, of the station, before Mare Garden. So mother went there, and mother said, oh, if football can be played like this, it's a beautiful game. Otherwise her impression was that it is too much physical, right? So Chinmay, I don't know if you know who Chinmay is. Chinmay was with the mother, always living with her, and when she used to go to play tennis, she used to sit at the mother's feet in the car, right? Pranapta used to sit in front, Pavitra used to drive the car, mother sitting and Chinmay sitting on the below. Chinmay became very fond of me, being close to mother. So she made a little drawing of football and gave it to mother. Mother wrote their blessings, and I've still got it. Right? The beautiful, not beautiful in that sense, it is beautiful that it was given to me by the mother. So she said, take this pumpkin, go home and tell your mother to cook for you. And so now my mother, every Monday, she used to make ragi malt for mother and Shri Aurobindo. So she was very fortunate. So she used to make it regularly, and it used to be sent. Just one spoon mother would take, I think Shri Aurobindo also would take, the rest would become prasad, right? It was distributed among many others. It came to our house also a little bit. So this is one of the things that, one of the moments when, I won't call it the inner life in that formal sense, but the whole meaning of the ashram made sense to me. And it was an extremely beautiful relationship. Unfortunately, too many other distractions, sports, this, that, lower nature, desires, slowly they recede into the background. If I had continued that, I would have been a wonderful human being by this time. But ups and downs, right? This lower nature or distractions, right? Turning you in other directions. I was passionately interested in sports. So a new magazine called Sports and Pastime, brought out by the Hindu, Hindu newspaper, they brought out a sports pastime. Jumu's uncle Kanakda used to subscribe to that. And Kanakda was one of the finest sportsmen that I have seen in the ashram. His power of concentration, mother's remark, you should see his power of concentration. Intense. See, when mother started playing tennis in 1948, we had no access to tennis because we were too young. But mother's partner was Pranabda. Pranabda had never played tennis in his life. Mother told Pranab, you have to be my partner. So mother got him a racket, got him 2 books. He learned the grip by seeing the books, went for a few days and practiced service. You can't imagine, in 3 days he was serving very well. Right? And if Pranabda was not going to play, mother would not play. It was an absolute rule. Right? Pranab has to be present with the mother. Mother used to play on the forehand side, Pranabda on the left side. She used to play 5 games with partners. Chandubhai Kanak, Sumantro Manoj, etc. etc. We started playing much later. I was too young at that time. Mother used to do underhand service. She could not lift her hand up. She would do underhand service. The players on the other side, our job was to return the ball to mother on her forehand. She hardly ever used her backhand. On her forehand, within a reasonable distance so that she doesn't have to run. It demanded a fair amount of skill. Why I am saying this, mother enjoyed playing with Kanakda. He would give it exactly the way she wanted. All of us tried, fairly successful, but Kanakda was superb. Mother said that his powers of concentration. Since I've taken up this topic, Sunilla was a ball boy. There would be an umpire's chair, someone sitting on top. Sunilla would be sitting there. And I would come and sit there. And I would help Sunilla a little bit. Now and then I would run and pick up the ball and give it to Sunilla. Sunilla used to roll it and send it to Amyoda, who would be standing behind the mother. Sometimes Amyoda, sometimes Kullanda. They would take the ball and give it to the mother. Right? And mother is to come from 1948 till 1958 December, however hot it was, 4:15, 4:30, sweating after the play, absolutely the whole dress sticking to her body. So
How long she used to play?
sometimes till 5:30, sometimes till 5:15. Sometimes Pranabda used to play. The last few minutes he would leave because he had to take up the group, and mother would play singles for some time, but very rarely. Almost all the time Pranab had to be there, right? So when I wanted the Sports and Pastime Journal, I told mother that I would like to subscribe to this journal. Mother said, show me a copy of the journal. So I went to Kanakda, took one copy and showed it to mother. It was in 2 parts. The first 16 pages were all sports. Good, innocuous, very interesting. The next 16 pages were all cinema and other things. So mother went through that. She said, let me see it. She took it up. And after 2 days she said, okay, you can get it, take it. There is no harm because these are nothing vulgar, right? It is cinema but nothing vulgar. See, she was so strict. One more story about that time. Kapali Shastri was my Sanskrit teacher, our Sanskrit teacher. It should have been an honor and a sense of tremendous pride that Kapali Shastri is my teacher. We didn't like his class at all. Very strange. His voice was very feminine, like a lady's almost. I won't say that he was a very good teacher, but he was a scholar of the highest order. So I didn't like his class. So I went and told mother that I would like to leave Sanskrit. I am not interested. Mother said, but my child, you are good in languages. You try for a few more days. So I tried. Again, after 3 days, I went and told her, mother, I want to leave the Sanskrit class. Again, very gently, she smiled and said, she didn't say no, she didn't say yes. So I tried again. And third time when I went and told her that I would like to leave Sanskrit class, she said, you may leave it, but you will regret it afterwards. And I left. How stupid you can be, right? I left the class. Years later, 1960s, I began to start studying Sanskrit with Indu Roy. I used to work day and night for hours together, but then I realized that what a stupid mistake I had done by not, she never interfered. Very gentle, suggesting. She was always, her method was suggest. If you are determined to do something, I will not come in the way. I have seen this happening. Cricket match going on in Madras. In a line, 10, 12 boys going and telling her, mother, we want to go and see the match. Can we go? Mother says, yes, yes. Next, somebody else goes, mother, there is a cricket match. I would like to go, but what do you feel? Oh, you want to know what I feel? Better not go. But why did you allow them to go? They came and told me they want to go, so I said go. It doesn't mean that I have asked them to go. It is they wanted to go. You have to be very careful of this. You will find in letters of Sri Aurobindo, where mother says yes to somebody, but when mother says yes, because you have asked mother, what would you like me to do? That yes is the real yes. So one has to be a little careful. If you have a very strong desire and urge and you want to do something, and she doesn't come in the way. She lets you go through the experience, even painful experience, to learn by yourself. I can give you instance after instance, not only in my life, in so many other lives. She allowed you. Because that is exactly the first chapter of the synthesis of yoga, to suggest, not to impose. The Guru never imposes. She suggested. If you are not ready, nothing will happen. If you decide to become ready, soon it will happen. And if you are almost ready, it will happen immediately. Right? Something in the inner being has to be ready, prepared. So this is how it lasted for months together. Then the crowd began to increase for the vegetable darshan. Therefore it became difficult to have this kind of very intimate contact. But it lasted, friendship lasted for a whole year. 1948, my relatives came, my mother's younger sister. They came and they saw, they stayed in our house. And they were very keen that I should be given a good education, which means take me out of Pondicherry to another school, because from the purely educational point of view, it is nowhere compared to the standards probably, or whatever it was. So the matter was referred to mother. I didn't know it till a few years back when I began to see the letters of my father. But I heard all this from my room. In the next room, they are all talking among themselves that tomorrow we will go and tell mother that we would like to take Kittu out. So I didn't say a word to them. Next morning I went very quickly to the mother. Said, mother, they are going to come and tell you all this. You say no. Block it completely. She said, of course, you're my child. You're not going anywhere. You're here. So they went and cold-shouldered, absolutely. Right. So my father wrote a letter to mother about my education because he was also wavering. And mother wrote back, the education that Kittu is getting here, he will get nowhere else in the world. Right? So leave him here. So I mean, right from that age of 11 and 12, I became. She accepted me, and I had completely, fallen in love with her. In 1948, on my birthday, July 2nd, she came downstairs to the meditation hall. Sometimes she used to come and distribute tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, small things, right? She came on my birthday and she showered us with flowers. Birthday was an event. You would go to mother on the staircase, she would be standing. As you go up to Shobindu's room, instead of turning right, you go straight, and mother would stand there. There was a small shelf where flowers or whatever had to be put was put. We would go there. On everybody's birthday, it is not special to me. There would be 6 or 7 persons behind you carrying bouquets, flowers and all that. And all of them would be given to us and we would go and give it to mother. Mother would shower her love on you, right? It was a day to wait for, right? So after this little thing in the meditation hall, she started climbing up the stairs. And when she went to the landing of the first stair, suddenly she turned back and called me. And I went up, pouring her affection. She said, my child, I'll come to your house today at 4 o'clock. On the way to the tennis ground, I'll come to your house. Go and tell your mother. So, suddenly, because at that time mother started going now and then to people's houses. So, when mother tells you at 12:31 and she's coming at 4, you have to get the house ready immediately, because, being what we are, we would like the mother to come to a beautiful place. So, she came at 4 o'clock, 1948, July 2nd, right? My mother was there, my mama was there, my uncle, my mother's brother, right, younger brother. So we three were there, and naturally Chinmay and Pranabla and all that, she came. The house was only ground floor and a terrace on the first floor. Now it is Sunil's house. He has built a huge building there. I was very, very short. I was very rickety. I was very weak. A lot of energy, but weak. I used to play whole day. I used to play. Whenever I got a chance, I'm playing somewhere, right? And that was a real nuisance. My uncle used to get furious with me. From 12 to 1, he would sleep, and I would be playing cricket there in the house. He used to get very upset. Then she said, no, then since I was thin and rickety and rather weak, sometime in 46 or 47, Pranabda had started getting closer and closer to mother. In 47 August, after the attack, mother took him in. But before that, he was meeting her a little more than anybody else. So Pranabda was in charge of the physical education. And he told mother that this boy is very rickety, he is very thin. I think he should be given massage. Mother said, go ahead, good. So Pranabda used to call me to his house every day around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Olive oil. Thin layer of olive oil. He would massage the whole body. And he would say, why you are wearing all these clothes? Just walk, vacate from your house to here and go back. I felt so ashamed, But then, typical Pranab, absolutely. So I was very short. And not growing at all. Right? And everybody used to say, will this boy ever grow up? So I raised the question to the mother. Mother said, when you go to lie down, sleep, imagine that you are getting taller and taller, but lie flat on your back, looking upwards. And imagine that you are getting taller, 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 right? You see it will have its own effect, naturally not in one day, over a period of time. I had another very major problem as a child. Sleepwalking. I would get up in the middle of the night, go up the terrace and sometimes want to walk on the parapet. The end of your life if you fall down. One day I went to my mother's room, took the key of the main gate, opened the door and walking out in the street. Luckily my mother heard. She kept chasing after me and by that time I reached almost your department, right? And they called me back. So this was told to mother. Mother called me and said, she gave me a small photograph in which it was written, J'ai pleine confiance en votre bonne volonté. Ayez confiance à mon aide. I have full confidence in your goodwill. Have confidence in my help. And she said, keep that thing below your pillow and go to sleep. Within 15 days it was all over. Completely cured. Right? So, this is the one thing.
So let's pick up now the day that mother comes on your birthday. She comes to your house.
This was 1948. She came at 4 o'clock. As usual, my mother made that little halwa, right, at the last moment. She went through the house. Downstairs, she didn't go up. She went, saw everything. Very appreciative, very loving. She sat for, I won't say she sat, she was there in the house for about 10 to 15 minutes. Full of affection, love, right? And every one of us, my mama, myself, naturally it was ecstasy, heaven, right? Then she went to play tennis. Prananda came. I remember Prananda reminds me even now, I mean, even lately, now and then, Muneache, you remember mother came to your house? I said, of course, unforgettable. Now, since I was rickety and short, and mother gave me this exercise, but mother said, just wait. When your house becomes bigger, you will also become taller. 1951, we had to leave that house. Shravinda left his body in 50. In 51, I don't remember the month, February, March, April. We had to leave that house and go to the present house where we are living. But it was not like it was today. It was again a ground floor house, right? 2 rooms, 3 rooms for us. And there were 2 other people living there in the house. Within 6 months after that, this house started becoming bigger, a new construction. And I started growing taller. Then I reached a reasonably good height of 5 feet 6 inches. Right? So she saw everything in advance, told us, and well, this is my story of the early days when I was extremely close to her.
You had correspondence with the mother?
Not at that time. Till 1950 there was nothing called correspondence because there was no need of a correspondence. You met her 4 times a day. In the playground, if I had any problem, if I had anything to say, she would say. If she had anything to say, she would say. One day it was raining, we had all got wet. Mother was least bothered about our getting wet. And there used to be cinemas at that time. The screen was on the northern side, small screen. And mother would come out, there would be a mat and chair, mother would be sitting on a chair, and those who were close to her, Omyada, Milidi, they would all be sitting around. Started raining, mother brought an umbrella, and she didn't move. Not heavy rain, but some rain. And the parents all were coming and picking up the children, they mustn't get wet, they mustn't get wet. Mother least bothered. I mean, this getting wet and playing in the sun was never a serious problem with her. In fact, in one of her talks, she says that when you have a problem of headache or anything, like, go out and play in the sun, make friends with the sun, and the sun will, energize you. The relationship was very intimate. One day, I went in the morning to the mother, at 9 o'clock or so, and she asked me, do you go to swim in the sea? I said, yes. So rarely, I was not a good swimmer, I was very afraid of water. So I said, I don't go. Mother said, don't go. I have seen one serious danger for you there. So I was, thank God, because people would force me to go to the sea, which I didn't like. But after 2 years, I asked her. She said, no, now it's over. That period is over. That difficult. She saw something in her vision and she told me that I shouldn't go. I didn't ask what she saw. I just took her word and I was delighted. So anyway, it was a very intimate relationship. Constantly followed all that we did. And very interestingly, she used to distribute toffees sometimes instead of groundnuts in the playground. So there was a very long line, right, going around. And our group, C group, was the last. Now C group, we were in B group. We were Pranabda's favorites. Pranabda liked me, Bhatti very much. He made us captains, in fact. And then afterwards, Mother made us captains. Mother called us and said, you are going to be captain. And after some time, she gave us the dress also, with her own hands. So, but we didn't like B group at all. We liked Pranabda, but not the group. Why? No basketball, no football, only small games. And we were dying to play. So, we plotted among ourselves. The mother used to go to the gymnasium. At that time it was a kind of gymnasium, but not the same type. She was there. Few of us went to Mother and said, Mother, we would like to go to C group. And Pranabda was standing there. Pranabda got furious. He said, no, Mother. Mother listened quietly. Then she said, okay, you can go, but you must be very disciplined, very strict. And she agreed, despite Pranabda being very unhappy. For at least a month or two, Pranabda and us almost hardly talked to each other, right? Before that, he was all affection and love and all that, right? But that is Mother's way of dealing with things. Anyway, when we were pushed up, in C group there were already 5 captains. Mona, Manoj, Shumantro, Harit, Bachu, Pranabda's younger brother, and Narendra, Tara's brother. Mother sent Bhatti and myself, along with many others, and said, you two will also be captains in training. So we were made captains in training, and as long as Mona was there, we hardly did anything because we ran the whole show. But gradually we are being prepared, right? So any case, 1948, 1949, what was once built could never go away. It was there. It sometimes receded into the background, sometimes it came into the foreground. But I had developed that absolute trust that whenever I had any problem, the only person in this world to whom I could speak was her. The only person.
A beautiful way to end today's session. And we thank you so much, Kittu. Can we have another session tomorrow? Well, is it all right with you?
Yeah.